Okay, what's up, guys? All right, sorry for a bit of delay again. I normally like to try and do these gold update price videos earlier, um, but yeah, needless to say, yesterday was the worst day that I've had since I've started doing these daily update videos on gold price and everything, documenting my journey to understanding how to become a good forex trader with gold. Um, yeah, yesterday was really my worst day in a while. I had an actual red day where I actually realized the loss. Um, and obviously that's frustrating as hell for me, especially considering that I was doing so well. I feel like my overall analysis of the market is getting better and better and better, and I'm understanding the nature of this gold market more and more and more. I kind of understand what are the key things I need to be looking for and all those things. But yesterday, yesterday I just really kind of played the market not in a good way, and that's really all it really boiled down to. And that's why I didn't do well, and I ended up making a loss. So my loss ended up being about 2% of my account, which, in the end of the day, at least I can positively say that I managed my risk well enough. All that meant was the previous day gains that I made or profits were just wiped. So I'm pretty much back to zero, where I haven't really made any money trading gold this week so far. And, yeah, it was just frustrating. So what is it that I really made wrong or did wrong? What was like the really big mistake? And honestly, when I reflect on how I traded yesterday, I realized that my biggest mistake was the fact that I did not stick to a strategy or a trading style that really fit me. So yesterday when I made the video, I kind of said that, okay, when I made the video, we were kind of in this process around here where it just looked like, gold was going sideways. And I knew that we were going to have the non-farm data coming out. So I just knew that, okay, like that there was a good chance that that was probably going to be positive for the economy, or for the U.S. For the dollar. And I said to myself specifically in that video that, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and because there was no direction in the market, I would open a small position, which I had opened a I first opened a buy, but I quickly closed it when I realized it was starting to go for a sell. So I opened a short position, and I told myself, okay, I'm going to have the small position open, let the market decide which direction it wants to go, and then once it chooses that direction, I'm going to then open a larger position. And so I opened that short position around this period here, which looking back at it now was just too low, right? I had also said in my pre-market analysis the day before that I think that the bulls were coming out stronger and stronger. Like we were seeing this situation of higher lows, right? And so opening a short position, first of all, around this price level here, when we were already starting to see a higher low of this 775 area, opening a short position here was not smart. I went against exactly what I analyzed. So I analyzed the market correctly, I feel, but I still made the wrong decision, which was extremely frustrating. And it just shows you not my ignorance, but just, yeah, my inexperience really more than anything as still kind of a beginner trader. The biggest mistake that beginners make, I always find to this day, is that they just get too greedy. And I think I was getting too greedy. I saw that the market was slowly starting to go into a sell side position, and I knew that the data was coming out. So that data was coming out at like 7, if I'm not mistaken, 7 o'clock or 7:15 p.m. Bangkok time, which was around 8 or 8:15 US. So I knew that data was coming out, and I had a very strong feeling it was going to be bearish for gold. And so I opened that position, and then finally when the data came out right here, we saw that drop. And so I just jumped the gun and I said, oh, okay, I'm going to open my larger short position now, thinking that we would maybe even get a drop all the way towards the 1768 level, which where it used to be previous kind of support at one point, or even lower to like 1763. My greed shined through. And sure enough, I opened a short position stupidly, right, at 1772, right? And, I was up at one point. I was like, yes, yes, yes. I was telling my girlfriend, oh, yeah, here comes the money. And what I didn't realize was, one, yes, the data was positive for the dollar, but it wasn't that positive. Like the data wasn't that strong. So we only got kind of like the short side dump until about 1770. And sure enough, there was a strong bounce. And me being greedy just thought, okay, well, don't worry. It's going to go back to the 50-day, right? And or the 21-day. And because the economic data was positive for the dollar, it's just going to bounce. It's going to continue going down. But that's not what happened at all. And before I knew it, my greed and then my desire to see a certain outcome happen and not actually just simply make my decisions based off what the market is telling me, decided not to close with any sort of profit whatsoever. And in fact, I got stuck holding two of these short positions on now what's proven to be a pretty strong bull ride back up, right? Pretty strong bullish momentum going back up. And then I kept on telling myself, oh, there's going to be more data, right? We had the crude oil data, and that was, again, positive for the economy, or positive for the dollar, showed that there was strong recovery, economic recovery happening, right? As there showed to be an increased demand for crude oil, but there was no effect. It's clear that at this point that, even with the data that's coming out again today, the jobless claims in tomorrow, right? The non-farm payroll data, the bulls definitely want gold to push higher. We're seeing the higher lows, right? And I stupidly held my short position, and so I ended up so I held that position open overnight, and once we actually hit the 1790 position or level and actually broke through it, I just decided to cut my loss at that point because, I feel like I could probably hold that short position, and we'll probably see a rejection, at that 1797, or what we're kind of seeing now, like we're starting to see some bearish pressure here. Plus, we have some more data coming out today, which I assume is, again, going to be relatively positive for the American economy and the dollar. I could have held it, but you know what? I just decided it was almost like I wanted to punish myself. Like I didn't want to just hold it and then actually to see a drop later on today and be like, oh, I made money in the end, or, I managed to break even. Like the reality is I just made a terrible decision. And that decision also came from the fact that, one, I was greedy, and two, I didn't stick to the strategy which has made me money so far. And the way that I like to play, or the way that works for me, is like I much more prefer, instead of trading on momentum, I prefer to trade kind of these upper peaks and lower valleys, these swings, right, in the market. And I realized that that's my style. I'm much more of a logical kind of analytical guy who's going to trade based on what I kind of analyze in my pre-market. In my pre-market research that I do every morning, and I need to stick to those guns. I'm not a momentum guy. Like that's just not my style. So as beginners, I think it's really important that we understand and we learn that we need to trade based on our strengths. I believe that everybody can be a good trader. It's not like I believe that some people aren't made to trade. I just believe that every kind of person needs to know how they are as a trader. Whether you're somebody who's more of a momentum guy who can hold their emotions in check and really kind of see momentum move in the market, or if you're somebody who likes to kind of take a step back and try and analyze the market much more logically and then play those larger swings. That's my style, and I need to stick to that. So anyway, that was a good lesson learned, and it was a humbling, honestly, these markets, you think you know it, and then before you know it, like you get humbled. And I honestly received an ass kicking from the market yesterday. So it is what it is. I only lost 2%, so at the very least, I managed my risk, and I can play again today. Hopefully have a green day. So just very quickly, because this video has already gone quite long, what do I expect today? Well, the bullish momentum is definitely strong. Yes, but we are reaching this key point again. I think it's interesting, though, to see that, again, for today, right, unlike the previous recent 2 times we've come to this level, we're not seeing that quick drop. And I just really believe that this is just a sign of, like, you know, the bullish momentum is picking up. The bullish momentum is really picking up. And the bulls aren't going away anytime soon, you know. Yeah, I think long-term, the bulls are definitely here to stay when it comes to gold. So even if the data that's released comes out and it's very positive for the dollar and we get that dump back down even to this level of 1775 or even further below, I just still see that ultimately there's going to be a good rebound. So yes, I have made a bit of money today already shorting, doing quick shorts, like quick scalps here at this levels, scalping. So I took some very small, you know, profits there just to gain some momentum back. Sometimes you just need a confidence builder and take those quick profits. But I definitely am hesitant right now to hold long positions, or let's say hold short positions for a longer period of time at these levels now, because we're just seeing that, you know, that the bullish momentum is really keeping it now at this position here. Sometimes you see this in markets where it's like almost like traders are starting to get used to a new normal, and I think the new normal is that, yes, these higher levels, with these higher price levels for gold, is something which is okay. Like, this is kind of becoming the new normal. Another key thing that I'm going to quickly point out is, you know, and this is really what's been driving the gold market, guys, and it's yields. I mean, yields have been at this constant decline now for a few days at this point. I mean, all the way since back to this top here that we had on the 29th of April, right? For the last basically 2 weeks, we've just been seeing this declining trend in yields. And I'm not sure if this is particularly going to stop anytime soon. In the short term, I mean, if we look at the day chart, it would probably be healthy for us to see a bounce at this 50, at the 1.550 level, right? Percent level in terms of 10-year Treasury yields, right? So that we're getting close to that level, no doubt about it. So that's just the level to really be looking out for. But in the meantime, so long as it keeps on going like that, yeah, I mean, so long as we haven't hit that yet, I do think that yields are going to continue going down, and consequently, that means gold price is going to go up. The last key question really would be, right, like, are we finally going to see that 1800 level, a breakthrough 1800? That's very tough to say. I don't see that honestly happening, guys, unless somehow the data that's released, like, there needs to be a larger catalyst, I still think, to break through that. We have yet to even touch that 1800 level. So I do think, like, if there's not a news catalyst or a larger macroeconomic catalyst to break through that, I don't think we're going to see that either today or tomorrow, despite this bullish momentum. What I think we're probably going to see more is like a correction back down again, but then setting up a higher low, and then hopefully going back up with more bullish momentum and trying to really test that 1800 legitimately, right? Like actually hitting it, maybe just breaking over it slightly, but then getting that dump. I think a much more important thing to really see, guys, is on the weekly chart, can we actually hold above this resistance line, right? I think that's the key thing. We've broken past this now quite a few times in the past couple of days. Can we actually have a close above this? If we do, I just think that's going to be another key signal, right? That yes, then maybe next week we can really break past 1800. Anyway, guys, sorry for that long video. I just really wanted to vent a little bit about my frustrations, but actually it feels really good. I feel a lot better now. Hopefully you guys can learn from a mistake that I made yesterday and you know, that caused me to lose some money. Yeah. Anyways, if you like this video, just give it, or if you like this video, yeah, please give it a like and consider subscribing, follow me, and yeah, continue learning from my mistakes. Take care, guys.